Welcome back. This is Jeff Byers, and this is ANY255, and this is Module 14, where we're going to learn a little bit about bullet physics. Now, this is just an introductory course. We're not going to dive deep into bullet physics or the bullet plugin. But the first thing you'll need to do, you need to be aware of that depending on your modeling skills and how fast you work, this could take 6 to 10 hours to complete. The overview of Module 14 is that you're going to learn about bullet physics, learn how to create them. Now we're not going to really necessarily add fields unless you delete gravity, but we're going to talk about adding collisions. They're not really collisions in the sense that you think they are. They're more in the passive rigid body, so they will collide with each other, the rigid bodies and passive rigid bodies. And you'll learn how to change some of the attributes. Again, we're not going to go really deep into this. I want to try to keep this week short for you guys because we have one last week, Module 15. And I need you guys to all download V-Ray and make sure you load that software up first and then download Phoenix FD and load that up. And I think you have up to 30 days with those pieces of software. They're free for a trial version. Alright, you're going to have two mini assignments. Okay, one's going to be creating a simple ball simulation, crashing into some boxes, small boxes. We're going to do that. And the second one assignment is going to be, we're going to destroy a wall with a wrecking ball. Okay, you're going to be watching the video tutorials under Module 14 lesson content, and then you're going to be saving the 2 renders per simple ball simulation, and that will be action based. That means you'll catch the ball going through the items and smashing things up and rendering those out for me. You're also going to play blast the simulations, both of those, so you'll have 2 of those. Again, you guys can read the objectives, basically what I was just talking about. We talk about the bullet physics. What are they? It's basically a plugin, and you'll need to load it up. So you'll go to Windows, Settings, Preferences, and Plugin Manager, and you'll load the bullet MLL. And I take you through creating bullet and creating bullet rigid bodies. And there's a little GIF here. It really works very similarly to the classic rigid bodies in Maya, and I still believe that classic rigid bodies you can do a lot more with, but there's a spot for bullet physics if you want to do thousands of objects at once, which the classic rigid bodies could not do. So bullet's got a spot, a place, but they're very limited on what you can do. Okay, so we talk about bullet constraint types, so make sure you kind of go through those. You can click on these points right here. We got point, hinge, slider, cone twist, 6 degrees of freedom, spring, hinge, and spring, 6 degrees of freedom. And you can look at all these, what they can do. We do go through the point constraint, so I show you how to do that one. And you got rigid sets you can talk about, grouping things, and the bullet dynamic attributes. We also have soft bodies that kind of is similar to cloth. And then there's a shatter, a rigid body simulation. If you want to practice and play with that a little bit, you sure can. You don't need to turn that in. And then I continue on with rigid body simulations, and then simulation with Alembic, and caching files, importing caches. In the assignment, again, we talked about earlier, you're going to create 2 mini assignments, okay? And you're going to turn in 2 rendered images for the simple ball test simulation and 2 rendered images for the total destruction simulation environment. And the first one, I take you through the simple bullet physics simulation. So please watch those 2. You're going to get 10 points. Basically, the grading rubric. This one is going to be worth 10 points. This one's going to be worth 30. So the wall simulation, destroying a wall with a wrecking ball. Okay? And then once you're done with those, make sure you save your work. And you can see right here the grading rubric, what I'm going to grade you on. At 10 points for the the simple ball simulation, and 30, I should say 30, I'll go back and change that. 30 points for the wall destruction. And turn in instructions. Again, you're going to turn in the simple ball and wall destruction simulation scenes as an MB file. Those will be 2 separate MB files, so I'll have 2 of those. And you're going to turn in 4 rendered images, 2 for the simple ball, 2 for the wall destruction simulations. And they're going to turn in 2 play blast, 1 for the simple ball, 1 for the wall destruction simulations. So I've got examples here if you want to watch those for the simple ball. And these are the renders that I have for those. You can see those are in action. And the same thing with the wall destruction with the wrecking ball. We've got it starting the simulation and then ending. Okay, so those are what you're going to be turning in, and I wish you the best of luck this week. Again, don't forget to download V-Ray, get that installed first, make sure that's working. Actually restart your computer and open it up, make sure V-Ray is working, and then make sure you get V-Ray for Maya. Same thing with Phoenix FD. So you'll download V-Ray, you have to load that one up first. Okay, get that working with Maya. Open Maya up, see if you can get V-Ray to work. And if that's all working, you're good to go. Then you need to download Phoenix FD and just follow the instructions for, for getting that installed, and then check it and make sure everything's in there. And you might have to, it's a plugin, so you might have to load the plugin when you start up, Maya up, okay? So you have to go to Windows, Settings, Preferences, and then Plugin Manager, and then plug it in. Okay? Right, I wish you the best this week, and I hope you have a great week, and good luck with everything. Let me know if you have questions or concerns, or if you need help with anything. And I will see you next week. That's our final week. Again, just remember that Module 15 cannot be turned in late. Okay, because I've got a very small window for grading for Module 15, and then we have our final exam. Okay? Alright, I'll talk to you next week, and have a great week.